Hello traders, this is your trader's friend. Thank you for joining me today for another video. I'm so glad you could be here with me. Guys, just wanted to talk to you about this morning's trading and to remind you that Forex is the ultimate bluffing game. Before you have the Euro USD on the 5-minute time frame and the Euro USD on the 1-minute time frame. Let's take a look at this on the 5-minute time frame. Now this morning I got up and started trading and got stopped out sometimes. And my wonderful friends on Facebook were like, "Are you crazy? They have an economic report this morning." So I sat back a little while and waited. But this is the thing, guys. The market, before you go into a really good trade, I've noticed lately that the market will just chop you to death. And the reason for that is to keep you from having the confidence to enter really good trades. Now I entered in short here this morning and jumped out. Well, I jumped out because I was so sleepy, but I got here and that was where my stop loss was. And once we hit down there, the profit was so sweet. I took my money off the table and went to bed. Now this is the thing. That's why it's so important to cut bad trades quickly. Because if you got stuck up here at the top this morning, you can see how the market just creamed whoever was unfortunate enough to get stopped out there. So, guys, just want you to remember to cut bad trades quickly. When you see that the market is no longer going in your favor, then cut the bad trades quickly. And you can see now this was that stop loss level, but you can see that we never closed above that and price continued to follow the trend. Now if I was willing to stay up a little while longer, I could have gotten better profit. Now I ended up going back long the other way, and you can see that that was that old area of support that became a new area of resistance. Got a little bit of paper on two positions going long this morning. But let's take a look at this trade a little bit more carefully. Now these areas are there to test your courage, to see if, well, it's a test of your courage. Let's leave it at that. But this is the thing for me. The hardest part of a trade for me is the beginning of the trade, when my money is bouncing up and down and in and out, and I don't know whether or not I'm going to end the trade in profit. And well, I continue to move my stop loss until I got to that point, and the profit was just too much to say no to. But this was one of the telltale signs. If I had stayed up, and I think I posted it on Facebook, that I knew that an opportunity was going to come back to go in harmony with the trend. I was just too sleepy to stay up to wait for that opportunity. But if you gotten out here like I did with a nice sweet profit, then what happens is you're in like 35 minutes of consolidation. How is it that you know to go in harmony with the trend, or that it's time to go back in harmony with the trend? You can see that you got this bullish fake out and you got this reversal candle with the confirmation. Now that was a good sign, but for me this was the real telltale sign, because we got a close below this candle. I don't know what to call it, but we got a close here below that candle, and you can see how price continued on in harmony with that trend. Now this is the 5-minute time frame and this is a 10 SMA. The time for me to have gotten out of that trade would have been there. Is that for me, I was too sleepy this morning, so I did not get in on this price action. And I just made this line thick so that you can see what it was that I was talking about. And you see you got this little fake out before price continued beautifully. And I slept through all this. But before price continued beautifully in this bearish fashion. Now I turned around when I got up and went long on this pair. And this was that old level of support that became the new level of resistance, and this is where we are in the market currently. Let's take a look at this on the 1-minute time frame. Now this is what price was looking like on the 1 minute time frame this morning, and when you wake up, it is not quite here yet. It's probably there or something, and you get a strong break and it's just choppy. So that's what happened this morning before you got this nice trade. Your moving averages weren't in order, but the thing that was a sign that it may be a good idea to enter this market was the fact that your moving averages were close, and it only took those 3 pips to really break through all of that support. And then you got a situation where price continued on. Now, let's add another little, okay, another fat little thing. But this was another telltale sign. You see how price broke below that support. And guys, any trade can go wrong. I had some trades to go wrong this morning, but I made all of that paper back and then some. I cannot stress to you how important it is to cut a bad trade quickly. Now, I was riding through that trade, and you can see this was the thing. That in on the 50, okay, let's take a look at some of those before the fact. Okay, you got in on the 50, out on the 50 there. If you did in on the 50, out on the 50, you just got chopped for a while. But here, the in on the 50, out on the 50, look at how sweet that was. Now, I marked the place that I actually, the last place that I saw this morning before I turned my charts off. But you can see that at this point, and this is the same thing on the 5 minute time frame, you break below that support before price continues on. And these little places are there because, and this is the thing, these places are scary because you're watching your profit disappear before your eyes. But, and this is why Forex is the ultimate bluffing game, because they're there to trick you out of your money. They're there to trick you out of getting as much profit as you can get. Now, I got out of this morning because I did not want, and I actually got out down here, I did not want them to mess with my money. I just wanted all of it. And plus the fact that I was too sleepy to ride this trade out. But guys, that's what they're here to do. They're here to bluff you. And I wanted to show you this trade. I wanted to show you this trade setup. And to remind you that once you get into a good trade, then you can stay in there, in on the 50, out on the 50, unless you're too sleepy like I was this morning. But you can see how that trade worked out beautifully. And we got back here, a little fake out there. But then during the New York session, what happened? You get this break below, you get a retest of that old support that's now become resistance, and look at how price bled down for you beautifully. And that's where we are in the market currently. Guys, just want to remind you that you can absolutely do this. You can be successful at Forex. Let me let you take a look at those trades again. It's amazing how much clearer these things are when you shrink your chart. Guys, just want to remind you that you can absolutely do this. You can be successful at Forex. Have a terrific weekend.